My name is Omar Samra. I'm Egyptian. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an adventurer. And I think the simplest way of putting it, if you can remember all that, is that I specialize in dragging myself and heavy objects to high and cold places. I was asthmatic as a child at age 7. I got diagnosed at age 11 with severe chest asthma, which basically dictated my early childhood. I was, the guy who was never, picked on the sports teams. I had very low self-esteem because of it. And that only changed when I met this coach who became like a father figure for me at an early age, and he was tough on me. And within weeks, I stopped using the inhaler the doctor prescribed, and I started, developing more confidence. And that basically put me on a trajectory that when I was 15 years old, I went to Switzerland and saw my first mountain. It was the first time I'd seen snow. When I was about 21 years old, I got into investment banking. I realized that the environment I was in was crippling me. I was working 18-hour days and working weekends. There was one guy in the bank that inspired me. He'd done this cycling trip from Nice to Naples. And 4 months later, I bought a bicycle and started training on it, and I cycled by myself until finally I took the decision to quit the bank and basically shoulder the backpack. So obviously I embarked on this 1-year-long journey. I learned so much from it, and that was the seed where I climbed so much in that year that I think it elevated my climbing, and it gave me the kind of hope and confidence that, I could, by following a certain trajectory, I could get one day to be able to fulfill that childhood dream of climbing Mount Everest, and being the first Egyptian also to climb the highest mountain in every continent, to ski onto the North and South Pole, climbing 3 unclimbed mountains and getting to name them, attempting to row across the Atlantic. Also, like on the personal front, being able to switch careers, being able to eventually start up my own company. My proudest moment comes from my biggest learning in life, which is the ability to learn from loss, and then to be able to reach a point where I can let go and allow myself to be happy and fall in love again. And, about 10 years ago, I lost my wife, a few days after childbirth. And the journey of rising through that loss and through that trauma is the biggest challenge of my life. And I realized that even though I thought the point of my life when I was younger was to climb Everest, was to climb the 7 summits, to do these things, I realized that it wasn't any of these things, but all of these things were preparing me for that moment.
One of the things that I'm really grateful for is the platform that my success has allowed me to advocate for causes really close to my heart, like climate change, women's equality, and the plight of refugees. It's hard really to talk about achievements in the environment space when we are still, as a planet, so far behind from where we need to get to. But I take some solace in the fact that we were able to organize tens of cleanup campaigns, both on land and underwater. And this is why I support a local project in Egypt which helps in coral reef regeneration. And in terms of taking action, it's really important that the actions we take are not us getting out of our way to do something. That's why at WG we work on reducing our carbon footprint and also raising awareness to our clients, taking them close to nature, making them fall in love with it. And when they do, they become the biggest custodians, advocates, and protectors of it. I advocate for equality as a board member of Equality Now, an international organization fighting for women and girls' rights all around the world. They do that by overturning laws and changing constitutions. I certainly believe that anything less than 100% equality right down the middle is bad for everyone. Raising awareness about the plight of refugees is a cause that I'm still very passionate about, and I do that through different ways. I think at the top of that list is our movie Beyond the Raging Sea, which is currently on Netflix. And most recently as well, we recorded a podcast, State of Mind, which has a really important episode about desperation and what compels people to do something like that.
We live today in this moment, and we have to make it count. So that's the inspiration that I have, that I hope to pass on to my daughter, to as many people as possible.